The Light It Up album, for me, stylistically, is just an album that I wanted to do. You know, I didn't feel like I had to conform to any one genre. The result is probably a more rockier sound than we've done before, but you know, I don't think it's like a sudden sharp turn. You know, I've never been a traditional blues guy. It's not what I do, and I think each album, you know, there's been a progression leaning more towards the rocky side, the southern rock side.
Light it up and take control. Light it up.
So the process of creating the album started about 12 months ago when Kris started sending me demos. And the advantage of being in the band is that we're always on the road. We can listen to the pre-production or the demos and bounce ideas off of each other and really scrutinise the track, so that when we come into the studio, we're totally ready. We know exactly what we want to do with the time.
This kind of feels like my first proper album. The first album that I'm doing as a full-time professional musician, with the backing of a record label and a great team around me. It was the first time I've done an album where we've gone into a studio for like a block period. We went in for like 4 weeks, and I could just concentrate on, you know, on the creativity and just get the best stuff down. When we did the Divine and Dirty album, you know, I had to record it like as and when I had money. And you know, a lot of people, they haven't read the credits on the album, they don't realise there's actually 2 different bands on that album. So with this one, there's the same group of guys. We knew well in advance of when we were heading to the studio, and we had a lot of time to prepare and get things ready.
Reality with these made of dreams. I am gonna stand up. You know it's time to tell the truth. In this world full of concrete people, only you.
Light It Up has generally got a heavier sound, but it still retains those sort of dynamic dips, you know, with tracks like Rain, Let the River Run Through You, Pride Is Forever.
I really think I've grown as a songwriter with this album. I think the different approaches that I use when writing a song now feel a lot more natural to me. I used to kind of force myself to think outside the box, not just do the same thing I always do, which would be write a riff, write a verse, write a chorus, and do lyrics and melody last. And I used to force myself to try and go outside that. Now I find it, you know, it just comes a lot more naturally. This album, I think it's very personal. There's a lot of songs that, you know, I'm maybe going a little bit deeper than I have before. I'm speaking from personal experience. You know, not every song's about me or my life. It might be about things that I know other people have been going through or experienced. But you know, I really think I've managed to get a lot deeper with the lyrical content.
If I'm going down, then I had my guns blazing, my foot to the floor. I see the background fading. I think to myself, oh, what a way to go. My head held high, inside and kicking and screaming. I fall to the floor, I reach up to the ceiling. I think to myself, oh, what a way to go.
Whilst we were recording the album, we were able to play around with a lot of different guitar tones, maybe tones that Kris hasn't necessarily used before. We did the same with the drums. We had 10 different snares laid out over the studio floor, which was great to be able to do because it meant we could individually tailor each individual track, whilst obviously, you know, keeping continuity over the whole album.
It crosses over a lot of different genres. And but not feeling like uncomfortable. I don't think it's like, oh, here's a country song, here's a heavy metal song, here's an Indian ragga. It's not like that. random. You know, I think it all sounds like the KBB sound, but you know, I can see that there's, well, I hope there's a lot of accessible sounds for everyone there.
I'm really excited for people to hear this album. There's a lot of great songs, really catchy choruses, but also lyrically I think there's a lot that people will relate to.